Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another live stream on my Instagram page and then YouTube. And today I'm here with a new guest, special guest from United States, and it's a young shooter, but a really good one. I will introduce myself for those that don't know me, and then I'll ask you, Evan, to introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your journey in shooting, in these shooting sports. So my name is Samuel Moreira. I'm a practical shotgun competition shooter here in Portugal. I've been doing this discipline for maybe like 3 or 4 years now, and from the past few years, I've won the national championship, the national cup, and I've been doing that. I've been getting better, and now starting to compete also outside Portugal, which is a big, let's say, a big win for me and a new challenge. And I started these live streams to try to give something, to put something on the internet that can give information from different shooters around the world. I used to listen to a lot of podcasts when I'm driving, and I noticed that there is a lack of shooting podcasts in the internet. And so I started this. For those that don't know, I started this to try to give a little bit more to the gun community, and here we are. So with me, I have Evan Craig, right? Is that how you pronounce?
Yep, I'm Evan Craig. I'm an 18-year-old competitive three-gun shooter, and I've also been focusing some on IPSC Shotgun. I started shooting whenever I was 8 years old. I started shooting NSSF rimfire, so it's kind of like Steel Challenge, but it's not quite. It's not really sanctioned. It's just kind of like outlaw Steel Challenge, you could say.
Okay.
Then I got introduced by one of the guys that I was shooting that NSSF rimfire with. I got introduced to three gun and went and watched him shoot one, and then I went and shot the next one, and I was hooked and wasn't going back from that. Three gun is a very, very fun sport. Um, I tried a lot of different disciplines whenever I was first getting started. I did some cowboy action, which my dad actually he shot cowboy action before I was born. So as soon as I was able to hold a gun and able to shoot, he was ready to get back out on the range with me, and it was really nice because he had that competitive drive in the cowboy action, and he wanted to get back out on the range and shoot, and I really found it enjoying. So there's just a lot of really good people out on the range.
Yeah, that's really good when you have people in your family, especially your dad. So it's very close that shoot and that are competitive, because that's one of the best starts. You start really young. You started really young, and you started with someone that knows competition, and that knows what competition needs, and what you need to be competitive. That's really good. So as you see, we are here to talk about a little bit different topic than we usually do. We are going to talk about three gun, which is a discipline that in Portugal we don't have yet, at least. And I'm actually kind of curious to know more about it. And we're going to talk about three gun. How is the discipline in the US? Maybe to ring some bells, it will give some ideas to us here, so we can implement it here. And we're also going to talk about a little bit about shotgun shooting in general. Maybe some shotgun only matches that you participated. What kind of training you do for specific shotgun, and those are going to be our topics for today. So starting off, we did our brief presentations. So what is three gun? Can you explain in a brief sentence what is three gun? What kind of platforms do you use? Talk about a little bit about three gun.
So three gun is it's a sport that it takes your pistol, rifle, and shotgun, and normally whenever they're spread out into multiple different matches and all singled out, it puts a really heavy focus on whatever aspect of that gun is good for. Whereas three gun, it kind of combines everything together. and it makes like in these one gun matches, stages are normally a fast stage is 20 to 30 seconds, whereas in a fast three gun stage is probably going to be anywhere from 50 to 70 seconds. So the stages are a lot slower, and
Okay.
a lot more. There's up to sometimes we shoot over 100 rounds in one stage
Wow.
on the stages.
The
And
100 round it's sometimes the maximum of some matches here in Portugal. So you do it in one stage.
yeah, so like I've shot matches before that have had 5 minute par times, and the whole goal of the 5 minutes is to shoot as you're going to shoot the full 5 minutes and score as many points as you can. So
Mm.
for 5 minutes straight, you're running and shooting, and you got to try to plan to carry as much ammo as you can. So yeah, it's three.
That seems interesting. How can you have a lot of the required ammo all on your belt? For example, for shotgun, how many rounds on the shotgun portion? How many rounds on the rifle portion and the pistol portion?
So I haven't shot one of these matches in a while. It's probably been 3 or 4 years. But the one stage I can remember the most, there was like four sets of cars, and you would run between. There's like 100 yards between each set of cars. So you'd shoot like your rifle from one car, and you'd shoot like 10 rounds probably, and then you'd run yards and go shoot your shotgun or your pistol, and then shoot 10 to 15 rounds, and then you continue that cycle over and over again. So on those stages, you really didn't actually end up shooting that much. You were shooting probably, 60 to 70 rounds, but it took 5 minutes because of all the running and physical side that you had to go
And
through.
that's just one stage. So how many stages per match?
So, which those matches are a little different. A lot of times, a three gun match is going to be anywhere from, like I said, those 50 to 70 second stages, and
Mhm.
for a monthly match, which we call local matches, there'll be 4 to 6 stages, depending on the match. And then for major three gun matches, there's anywhere from 10 to 15 stages, and those are going to be multiple days. So some matches are 3 day matches, and they have a like a morning afternoon format. So you'll shoot 6 stages in the morning, 6 stages in the afternoon the next day, and then like 2 stages the last day to finish out, and then have awards at the end. So
Wow, that's a lot of shooting. Yeah. And so you said that you have like local matches and then bigger ones. That's similar to the IPSC or other shooting disciplines here in Europe. However, I've seen that in Trigun, and that's something that it's really interesting. There are matches that they're like there's no lines, no penalty lines. It's like out in the open.
so we
That's
call
really interesting. Yeah.
we call those stages jungle runs. A lot of times they're in the so we call them,
Okay.
and they'll just be sticks as fault lines, and you have to basically stay on the path. And it kind of depends on the match and depends on the ROs on the stage what they'll consider the path. So with those stages, there's certain places where you can get more of an advantage by shooting like on your rifle. You'll be shooting 300 yards. Well, instead of shooting offhand, you can go up to a tree and brace off of a tree, shoot the
Mhm.
target. It Those jungle runs, that is my favorite kind of stage because there's a lot of memorization to those, because you might
Okay.
cover 100 150 yards and there's targets on your right and on your left and hidden behind trees and in the brush and things like that. So it
It's easy to forget the targets, right?
yeah, it's easy to forget the targets. It's super heavy on the mental side of things. And then especially so at three gun matches, there still will be stages that are one gun. So you'll have like a pistol stage, a rifle stage, and a shotgun stage, and then the rest
Mm.
of the stages will be true three gun stages. So on the shotgun jungle run stages, I think the biggest one I've ever shot was like 72 rounds on one stage of shotgun,
Only shotgun.
of only shotgun. It might have been, but there was a lot of shotgun, and it was a really hard stage. And I'm pretty small waisted, so I do not hold that many shells on me. So I had a full belt set up and then a full belly belt on too. So I had all the shells. But yeah.
let me just say hi to a friend that it's here. It's the one that it's called Canal Descentrado. It's a friend. He has a YouTube channel here in Portugal, a big YouTube channel here in Portugal, and he is promoting shooting sports and is trying to get tree gun in our country. So, hi, João. Okay, let me go back and ask you something. Tree gun was the first. No, you said that you started with cowboy action, right? Or is it?
I
Did you
started
start in tree gun?
with rimfire, so that's basically 22.
Oh
20,
yeah, right,
and
yeah,
it's like there's 5 targets on a stage. You just stand there and shoot, and then
yeah.
you shoot for speed shooting basically.
Mm-hmm.
Started with, and then once I got introduced to 3 gun, before I got dead set on it, which I pretty well knew I wanted to do it because it's so much fun, but my dad was like, "Why don't we go ahead and try other disciplines?" So I shot USPSA. I actually shot a little bit of IDPA. I shot cowboy action. Pretty much all the disciplines you can think of. I've shot some sniper matches.
What's the difference between USPSA and IDPA?
So USPSA is it it doesn't rely on cover or anything. It's basically speed shooting with plus
Okay,
points. So the targets get scored like they do in IPSC, and
right.
then similar. And then IDPA is more focused on like concealment. It's personal protection basically, but it's scored as a match. So you gotta shoot targets in the correct order as you're going around a wall, and you got to use cover, and you're not supposed to drop your mags on the ground. You got to try to keep.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily speed oriented. It's
It's
more
more like tactical, right?
tactical. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I see. Okay. So, how old were you when you started doing tree gun?
I was 9 years old.
9.
Yep.
Just for you to understand, here in Portugal, and João, correct me if I'm wrong. I think the minimum age we can start shooting competitively, it's with 14 years old.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that's a flaw that we have here, because some other countries you can start really young, and of
Yeah.
course with someone helping you. But when you start really young, you start developing the skills really young, and that's a flaw that we have here, in my opinion.
Yep, and with good teaching and the kids having good understanding, it's not any more unsafe than an adult doing it. Which, as long as you have proper training and proper
Yeah.
education how stuff works, it's super safe.
Yeah. And like you said, your father was a competitive shooter, so he knew what he was doing and teaching you, right? So your father was your teacher, let's say, or you had someone else teaching you also.
My dad has been my coach basically the whole time. I went to one junior class, like it was like a camp thing for
Yeah.
shooting, and I did learn some stuff there. But my dad has definitely been my coach the whole time, and he watches all my videos and goes through, and he's the one that'll tell it to you straight. I mean, if he something that you wrong, and you even if you see it and you're like, I don't really want to worry about that, he's gonna tell you, and he'll help you figure out how to fix it.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Which it's
And
it,
you make bonds with your father like that too. Yeah, that's great.
now I got a couple of buddies that are getting into shooting too, and I'm able to help my buddies, but also my dad's there helping me coach them because he's the one that's watched me and seen what I've done and figured out how to fix it. So he's able to help my friends out too.
Yeah, like with 9 years old, doing tree gun, you have, of course, the pistols. It's more or less easy. Let's say not easy, but you can. They're small guns, so you can hold them properly. But I'm thinking about long guns, shotguns, and rifles, especially shotguns. You cannot shorten the shotgun too much. So how could you do it with 9 years old? And you were doing competition or just
Yeah.
for fun?
So when I was 9, I had it was a JP ultralight rifle. So the rifle didn't weigh hardly anything. It was super light, which it still got heavy because whenever you're
That's
9,
223. What's the
yeah,
caliber? Two two
yep,
three. Okay.
it was still heavy because when you're 9, everything's heavy, but so when I started, I was using a Sig P320 pistol, and it was a polymer frame gun, so it was super light. But the biggest problem with a light gun is there's a lot of recoil to a light gun. So with that polymer frame gun, it actually, once I was able to switch over to my CZ Tactical Sports Orange, it
Yeah.
I had a lot less recoil, and it was actually easier for me to shoot. But when I first started three gun, my shotgun, I was using a 20 gauge, which that's kind of the same thing. It was a lot lighter of a shotgun, so I was able to hold it up, but it had a lot more recoil, so it beat me up a lot more.
Okay.
Pretty much as soon as I was able to move up and shoot 12 gauge and shoot a metal gun, a metal pistol, it,
Yeah.
my game really improved then because I didn't have as much recoil to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah, and shotguns, of course, shotguns, they have a lot of recoil, no matter what kind of shotgun you're shooting. They usually have a lot of recoil. However, and you know that when you use the proper techniques and the proper form, you can reduce that recoil a lot. However, it's easier to say that when I am with the weight that I have, but when you're 9, it's a lot harder to do. So that's really impressive. Uh, so how big is tree gun in the US right now?
Um, that's kind of a hard question because there's the U.S. is kind of split in the three different areas, I think, and you have the competitive shooter side of people, which is not a very large group in the United States, and then
Really? Okay.
uh, you have the group of people that they like to go to the shooting range and shoot and have fun because they like
Mhm.
people that they don't really care if guns are there or not. So I would say in the competitive side, just about everybody knows about three gun. Uh, Three gun isn't the biggest thing because people don't really like shooting a shotgun. Like even recently, to try to get more people to come to our local three gun matches, they've added a two gun division so that people that don't want to shoot shotguns can come.
Wow.
They basically just shoot the shotgun targets with their pistol. So the first match that they did that, it brought like 20 people that shot two gun,
Wow.
and after that, it's went back down again. But the I like the true three gun which shotgun is my best gun. I enjoy shooting it the most. I enjoy loading it the most.
So it's your favorite platform?
Yeah, yeah. That shotgun is definitely my favorite platform.
Wow. See, you see, this is interesting because you're in Portugal, mostly because our hunting culture, maybe I don't know, and our background. Shotguns are probably one of the easiest platforms to get access to in terms of licensing. So pretty much almost all, not all shooters, but a lot of shooters start with shotgun. Um, it's not all of them, of course. Now it's getting a little bit. It's got a little bit more split. Some should start in 22. Some other should start in shotgun, but usually shotgun it's easier to get into, and there's more places to shoot shotgun than other disciplines. So here in Portugal, shotgun is really a really big discipline. Not practical shotgun. Usually it's clay target shooting. But now practical shotgun is getting bigger. Also because of this kind of live streams, a lot of people are starting to post videos of practical shotgun, and it's getting bigger now. And I hope it grows even further. But that's interesting because I thought that in the US it would be also a big thing, but as you say, shotgun is not many people like it, right?
Yep. The I guess a lot of it is the recoil, like you were talking. It's so easy for people to shoot whatever they want to here that uh, the shotgun kind of just gets left to the wayside with everything. I mean, a lot of people here start out deer hunting, so they start out with shooting rifles, and they if they never get into trap in high school, then they don't really ever go into the shotgun venture at all. So
Yeah, that's a big difference. You can have access. Uh, don't get me wrong. Our law, it's not bad. we have a moderate law. We can have access to pretty much every type of gun, besides automatics, of course. However, it's not easy to get access to it.
Yeah.
It's there's a lot of law, there's a lot of waiting periods, a lot of paying. You have to pay a lot sometimes, but we can have pretty much everything. But you cannot start unless you're taking a hunting license. You cannot start with hunting guns. Let's say hunting rifles.
Yep.
But you can start with hunting shotguns. You see, so
Gotcha.
that's one of the easiest ones. You start either with hunting shotguns or air guns. You can also start with air guns, but that's a different story. So you can also either start with hunting shotguns or 22. You cannot start with 9mm, for example. You start with 22, then you have to compete in precision matches. Then you climb up the ladder of license. You go up to, I think, 38 special or something, 38 caliber or 30 caliber. I don't know. I'm not sure. And then you go to, after 2 more years, you go to 9mm. You can have access to 9mm and the 45 caliber, and that's it. You can also have access to not hunting rifles, but like 7mm rifles or something like that after 2 years of competing on that federation. Or you can take the route of hunting, and then you can start with hunting shotguns and hunting rifles with a different license. You can also have both. But for competition, it's either you start with shotguns or you start with 22 or air guns, of course. That's very different from here. So, like you said, let's go back a little bit to your journey in tree gun. So you started at 9. When was your first competition, or at least your first big competition?
I think the first Generation 3 gun I shot, I think I shot that, that would have been the September before I turned 10. So I'd have still been 9 when I shot my first major competition. So Generation 3 gun is a non-profit match that basically the proceeds of the match, and there's raffles, kids sell raffle tickets, but the proceeds of that match go back to the juniors to pay for other major match fees. So if I went and shot a different major match that costs $300 to shoot, I can send in my scores, and then Generation 3 gun will reimburse me for that match. So it helps lower the cost. Most
Yes.
parents, whenever they're trying to get their kids into it, and it definitely is really helpful. It saved us quite a bit that we were able to spend on ammo and on practice and stuff like that.
Is it very costly to shoot in America?
Uh, I would say yes, coming from me. So like a lot of major 3 gun matches are anywhere from $250 to $300, and some of them are more than $300. But
That's the subscription or just the
so that
ammo?
so basically the way 3 gun works in the U.S. is there is no like sanctioning body. So every
Okay.
match basically its own set of rules,
Mm,
have their own style. A lot of times 3 gun people use the environment that they have. So if you're out in the mountains, you'll be running through the mountains, running down through gullies, or if you're out in the flatland, you'll be shooting long range targets. And
interesting.
it's just there really is no there is no IPSC basically of 3 gun. There is no
Okay.
general rule set.
The federation, let's say. Okay. Interesting.
So each match costs $250, $300 to shoot. So if you want to go and shoot 5 major matches in a year, that starts to get pretty expensive. And
Yeah.
that's where I was a junior. Generation 3 gun helped out a lot because they were able to pay for those match fees.
Yeah. For example, here the entry fee, it's on our matches. It's not too much. It's like maybe 50 euros because our matches are smaller. Our championship is the matches on our championship right now. They are stuck with six stages.
Gotcha.
6 stages per match. But on the National Cup, you can have more. So 6 stages, it's around 50 euros more or less, the entry fee. But for example, if I want to go to shoot a match outside, usually the entry fee is around 130, 150 euros more or less. But then you have to travel, you have the book the hotels, the hotel, the food, the ammo. It goes when shooting outside Portugal, it goes really fast to 1,000 to 1,500 euros. It's really fast to get to those prices. So it's really costly to go outside.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the major three gun matches, the ones that are so this is $300 for would be 10 to 15 stages, and then the thing with three gun is you have all three guns that you have to supply ammo for, and you're shooting 150 rounds of a gun, so that's 750 rounds. So it gets really pricey with the ammo, and then you have the travel costs like the Rocky Mountain three gun. It's 12 hours away from here,
Yeah.
so which we drive it because we don't do much flying, so we drive it. So that's quite expensive in gas, and then you have to have a place to stay and all that. So it definitely gets really pricey.
Yeah. My friend here, he made a question. If you know, it's a different type of three gun match. It's called brutality match. Do you know brutality style?
So is he talking like tactical games? Would it
I
be?
think it's similar to that. Yeah, it's like you can explain better, but it's like almost a military style competition, but with three gun. You have your rifle, your sorry, I think it's only two gun.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's only rifle and pistol. Yeah, rifle and pistol.
I think that.
But it's very physical. You have to make it's like when you mix CrossFit with shooting.
Yeah, so that I think he's talking about the tactical games. So I've never shot one. A couple of my buddies have shot it. It's not. It's focused more on the physical side of things and not as much on the shooting side of things.
Yeah.
Those matches, I'm not exactly sure, but the stages and stuff are kind of weird for those because like you'll have a physical obstacle that you have to complete and then you have to shoot like 10 shots and then you go and do the physical obstacle again. Once you get it complete, then you shoot 10 more shots. So it's a little bit of a different type of match from the way I
Yeah.
do.
So, but you have those in US, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
And
interesting.
so one of the matches that used to be around was called Cops. So the funds for it went to Concerns of Police Survivors.
Mm.
But it was the match I was talking about where there was 5 minute par times. So it was a physical match. There was one stage where you had to carry this tire, and all of your shots had to go through this tire. So it was like a side by side tire. So it was, the inside of it was like this big around. You had to
Uh-huh.
for the whole stage, and you had to run over top of the berms to the next bay. And there was three
Yeah.
bays. So I think it was 13 or 14 when I shot that. So I was trying to carry my guns and carry this tire, and then tire on the ground and sit on the ground and shoot through the tire. So yeah, I've done those physical matches, and I really enjoy them. The tactical games thing.
I saw one of your videos maybe 1 year ago, I guess, that you were like going down. It's not a slide. It's like a tube or something. I don't know the name in English.
Yeah,
And you were reloading while you were going down.
yeah.
That was really nice.
I
Is
think
it typical there?
do what?
Is it typical in your matches in the US?
Well, there is a lot of very interesting stage props. So I've shot off of a seesaw before, like a teeter totter. You'd shoot
Yeah.
off of it and then walk to the other end, and it'd fall down and then shoot off the other end. Uh, at the Memorial three gun match, they you shoot out of like a passenger jet, like a Boeing 737. There's a stage that you shoot out of an airplane, like out of the windows. And then I've shot stages before where you're in a moving side by side. You have to shoot targets as you're riding in a side by side or
Wow.
in front of a tractor. there's that's part of what makes three gun really fun is the stage design really doesn't have a limit. So there's
It's
whatever
like freedom, right?
whatever the match director thinks about. If he can build it and it can be relatively safe, it'll be put into a match. And
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. And you said a few names. You said Memorial Tree Gun. You said some other before. Those names I remember them from a lot of YouTube videos. Of
yep,
course, here in Europe we consume a lot of YouTube from in terms of shooting. A lot of YouTube from the US, and now there are more shooting channels in Europe now. But before it was usually most of them were American. So in those names, I've seen them. I remember those names. Tell me, what are the biggest competitions in the US?
I would say Memorial Three Gun is probably the biggest three gun match. It sells out to 250 shooters in
Okay.
normally like 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Wow.
So
Wow.
really everybody wants to shoot that match. And whenever I started shooting three gun, Generation Three Gun would sell out like basically immediately. Like you'd have to be sitting there refreshing practice score, or you wouldn't get registered for the match. It would.
So you're not guaranteed to compete next year. For example, if
Yeah,
you're not careful, you don't compete next year, right?
yeah. So basically, the way it works is you use practice score, and if you get signed up, then you get signed up, and if you don't, then you gotta wait till next year to shoot the match. So
But imagine that you win last year match. Do you have an invitation? Do you get an invitation for next year? No. Wow.
not to very many matches, and then like certain sponsors will get sponsored slots to matches. So if they put prizes on the prize table, they'll get slots that can go to their sponsored shooters, and
Yeah.
those people can get a spot to shoot the match. But especially when I started and three gun was pretty big in the shooting community and matches were filling up fast, you'd have to be there ready to register for it, or you weren't going to get registered and you wouldn't be able to shoot it.
Wow. So you said Memorial. You said what's the other one? Generation, right? And what other matches? Big
Uh,
matches.
Rocky Mountain Three Gun is a
Oh
pretty
yeah, yeah.
so it's out in New Mexico. Um, it's it's on a big like 20,000 acre hunting reserve thing. So
Hmm.
there's that match has really cool terrain because you're right at the base of the mountains. So you're running through gullies at the base of the mountains and shooting pistol targets and uh, those stages out there. I would say a lot of the stages out there for the fast shooters are 100 seconds because they have a lot more running involved. And then out there, the elevation is like 6,000 feet above sea level. And where I'm from in Missouri, our elevation is like 600 feet above sea level. So it adds another physical factor of
Yeah.
the air being thinner, not being able to breathe as good. So a lot of the a lot of that match that I like is the scenery and the physical aspect of it, as well as the hard targets.
Yeah, that's really nice. And so, what is your objectives? What are your objectives in competition? Do you do it for just for the fun? Do you do it to be really competitive? Do you want to pursue like a shooting career? What are your goals?
So my goal is always to try to win, do my best to get first, and I've been creeping up there and slowly getting better and better. Now I'm to where I'm about 90 to I'll win a match occasionally. Uh, so just focusing on getting as good, being as good as I can get. Right now, my primary goal is focusing on qualifying for the World Shotgun team for IPSC World Shotgun Shoot in Greece.
Nice, great, great.
That's my main goal right now. So I've been focusing where my training and stuff has been more on the shotgun side of things rather than the rifle and pistol. So,
So I hope we see each other in a world shoot
yep.
someday.
Yep.
That would be nice. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about competitions outside. You mentioned the World Shoot. Let's talk a little bit about competitions outside USA. Have you ever shot outside the US or
I've
no?
never I've never left the U.S. I don't even have my
Oh,
passport.
okay.
I've never.
I mean, US it's really big, so for me it's easy to get outside Portugal because we are a very small country. But
Yep,
for you, I mean, it makes sense.
yep. So, like I said, with the matches that are 14 hours away, they're 800
Yeah.
away, an 800-mile drive. So that's that's a good ways. And over here, having states, really, we don't have to worry about too much laws or anything from state to state. So
Yeah. Hmm.
traveling's not really a big deal or hard at all. So yeah, I'm excited to hopefully get to go to Greece because it'd be in the U.S. There is a lot of different scenery from one end to the other, but I I don't think I don't think it's the same as it will be over there.
Oh yeah, I think it will be different. Yeah, yeah, and especially the culture, it's completely different, I guess. Yeah, even from Portugal, I think it will be very different. Uh, how okay? How can you qualify? What do you need to qualify to go to the World Shoot or to enter the national team?
So the way I understand it is to be on the delegation, you have to be top 65%, I think, at one of the matches. What I'm
Okay,
is get on the World Shoot team. So for tac or for I don't even remember what it's called now. TAC ops, like standard. For standard division, you have to be basically the way it's doing is there's going to be 5 matches, and you take the percentage that you finished of your division in that match, and
okay,
basically turn it into a score. So right now I have 295%. So out of the 3 scores that they're going to take, which I have 2 more matches to shoot. Out of the 3 scores that they're going to take, I have 295%. So I'm I'm well on my way to making the team, but I still got work to do. So
and you said you don't have IPSC Shotgun in US, so do you have any specific qualifying matches, or are they, or do you have just the portion part of Tree Gun? How does it work?
these matches, they actually we've had quite a few match directors step up to be able to make a pure shotgun match, and then each shotgun match is kind of using a little bit of different rules, but they're mostly the same. So it's kind of a mixture between IPSC rules and USPSA rules, because USPSA is the like the sanctioning body over like the score side of things. So it's
Okay.
mostly USPSA style, and then like a lot of the rules are IPSC. It's kind of a mixture, but we are having specific matches for qualifying.
Okay, great. How many matches per year for
Uh,
qualifying?
6. I think it's 6 matches that are going to count towards it. I've
Okay,
shot I've
not a
shot
lot.
2 more. So
So that's not a lot. You have 6 matches. It's of course still a lot of matches, but if you because maybe they are far apart, right?
yeah, so the first match I shot was in Texas, so that's 14 hours away. We went, me, my dad, and my buddy. We went down there. That had been Thursday night. We left at midnight. We drove down there, got there Friday afternoon, looked at the stages, and then we shot Saturday and shot Sunday. We left Sunday at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then made it home by Monday morning at like 4 in the morning, I think
Wow.
5. So we made a quick trip out of that one, and then the last one I shot, it was in Nebraska, so that's about 4 hours from me. Or no, it was in Kansas. That's about 4 hours from me. And then the next one's in Minnesota, and then the last one's in Nebraska. So they're pretty spread out, that's for sure.
Yeah, and if you miss one or two, then you're really short on opportunities to
Yeah,
make the team.
they take the best 3 scores. The I didn't make it to the one that was I think it was in South Carolina or North Carolina. It was 14 hours away, and it wasn't in a good time of the year for me, so I wasn't able to make it to that one. So yeah.
Yeah. And is the competition really close? I don't know the
Yes,
proper word. Yeah, it's close.
with only having the 6 matches, basically the top guys are at every match. So we've all been competing against each other, and it's been a really tight race to see who's going to be on the team. So it's actually really fun because we all kind of know each other, so
Yeah.
we're all competing for it, and
Yeah, and you are shooting with a purpose, and I think that's the for me. Of course, I like competition, and I really like competition, and shooting with a purpose. Of course, I should because I like it. It's fun, of course, but I like to shoot not just for the shooting part, but for the competition side also. And when you're shooting with a purpose, that's way different. You are focused. Your
yeah,
trainings will be way more focused. You have something to fight for, and that's really nice. That's what I like. If I'm just shooting just for the sake of shooting, it's fun. Yeah, I've done it all my life almost. But when you have a purpose and you are fighting for some objective, it's completely different. That's what drives me to go to the next step. If
yep.
I can say it like that. So I think it's safe to say that we are probably going to see you in Europe or some other part of the world shooting IPSC shotgun.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure you'll make the team. For those that don't know you, I really advise to watch Evan on Instagram. Do you have any YouTube channel?
So I used to have a YouTube channel, and YouTube took me down because they claimed I was a minor doing dangerous activity. So
Okay.
and I haven't started another YouTube channel since then. I just haven't really worried about it, but I have or I have Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, and I advise people to watch him shoot. And now let's enter this topic. Let's talk about a little bit about shotgun and a little bit more about techniques and shooting shotgun. So the first question is, why is shotgun your favorite platform? I think that's something that it's interesting. Why is it shotgun?
Uh, I really enjoy shotgun because I've put so much time into quad loading, and
Yeah,
it just quad loading has always been something that's fun to me. It's something that you can push yourself at that. You don't have to put rounds down range. It's
yeah,
cheap to practice, and you can see growth in it super easily. Like if you practice it, you can look from you can look 3 weeks back and see that you've improved from back then.
exactly.
Take and analyze what you're doing and see what flaws you find in what you're doing, and go through and just dry fire some more, and you can fix it. You don't
Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
have to go out
yeah. Go on. Sorry.
you don't have to go out and shoot to improve on that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And do you dry fire every day, or how is it training?
It kind of depends on. So I farm, and so it kind of depends on what's going on the farm. If I have time at night, I'll try to get some dry fire in. I try to at least do something every week, whether it be dry firing or actually getting rounds down range. I try to at least get something done every week,
Yeah,
uh, just to keep myself refreshed. Sometimes it'll be a month before I can get back to my guns, but it's always good to do it.
but do you have a shooting range close to you, or
The good thing about being a farmer is I have
you can
2,000.
shoot pretty much anywhere?
So yeah, I go out below my house all the time and shoot, and we have
Wow.
a little range. My dad used to race four wheelers through the woods, so we use one of his old four-wheeler jumps as a berm and
Yeah,
shoot, and then we can set up stages through the woods, and yeah, it's really fun. We have that's the good thing is because my nearest shooting range is 2 hours away, so
wow.
so it go and shoot a match, it's a 2 hour drive, but to just be able to go and practice, I can walk right down below the house and shoot.
That's like our dream here. Just
Yep.
go outside the house and shoot.
Yep.
We cannot do that here. That's really nice. And why you shoot shotgun, but you shoot on the standard division with semi-automatics. Why is that? Why was that your choice?
So in three gun, so there's different divisions in three gun, but the only division that uses pump shotgun is heavy division.
Yeah,
So whenever I first started shooting, heavy division was a pump shotgun, 45 pistol, I think, and then 308 was your rifle caliber. So everything was heavy.
not suitable for a 9-year-old.
Yeah. So I started in with the semi-auto, and I've just always stuck with it.
Yeah,
Uh, I think it's fun to shoot. And then open division and three gun, people are using the box fed shotguns, which is the same as in IPSC. And
yeah,
I've shot my buddy's open shotgun, and I don't want to get away from quad loading. I love quad loading.
exactly. Yeah, we have also the open division here, and we have a box fed shotguns. I've shot a few. Here they are not so good.
Yep.
We have mostly Turkish brands. They are not the best. Now I think there may be some one or two that are starting to get a little better, but most of them they are not very good guns. They jam a lot, and but besides that, I mean the beautiful thing about shooting a shotgun, it's you can, like you said, quad loading. It's probably the most difficult part in a shotgun match.
Yep.
The reloads are the most difficult part on a shotgun match, and you can really see which shooters train and dedicate themselves, and with what shooters don't dedicate as much. Because if you look at the quad loads, of course you can modify your gun, you can open the loading port, you can do all sorts of stuff, but you can really see when someone is training and dedicating himself to the shotgun, and the others don't, because of quad loading. It's like a differentiating point, and that's something that I like. I wouldn't change for a box fed shotgun either.
Yep.
And I wouldn't change for standard for a semi-auto, because I really like pump action.
Yep.
I mean, I wouldn't say I wouldn't change. The future we don't know, but that's what I like. It's pump shotguns. It's a little bit more challenging for me. So you said that you can go outside your house and train with live fire. You try to also do some dry fire. What do you focus more on your trainings, either live fire or dry fire? I know that, of course, squad loading it's a big part of the training, but do you have like a schedule? Do you just pick up the shotgun and train whatever? How is your training?
I pretty much, it'll depend. Like if I go and shoot a match and me and my dad see something that I need to work on, that's going to be what I work on for the next time or two times, whatever, until I get that figured out. So a lot of it now, being as I have, the fundamentals down of everything, like Pat, is focusing on shooting faster, and then also focusing on movement, because movement and coordination with loading and with shooting is the next hardest thing besides quality. Because if you're not in the right spot to shoot the target whenever you get there, then there's not any sense in having the gun loaded if you're not where you need to be.
Exactly. So for you, and I think that maybe the stages in your discipline, they might be different from the IPSC shotgun stages. Maybe the layouts are a little bit different. The thought process, maybe it's a little bit different, or is it the same? What do you think?
So the shotgun qualifier matches are being built like IPSC matches.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
They're being built so basically for training for Worlds, and also to see how people perform on the stages that are going to be close to like what Worlds is. Free gun is whatever the match director wants to do, whatever they. So there's a lot of imagination that goes into the three gun side of things, being that it's mostly outlaw. There is no sanctioning body over it, so people can come up with whatever they want to.
But let's get a little bit off topic. there is no sanctioned body, but there are some rules in terms of what guns you can use. For example, there's divisions, right? So you cannot use any type of rifle or any type of shotgun. There's some rules, right?
So there's some common rules, and then even certain matches, division rules may change based on that match. So
Okay.
you definitely have to check the match book. So each match basically comes out with their own rules. You definitely have to check the match book because these matches they might pull some rules from USPSA or from IPSC, even in the three gun side of things, and they're using a mixture of rules that can definitely cause issues. Like certain matches in TAC Ops, so that's my three gun division, or it was until they came out with Tactical Modified, which I'm not a big fan of, but I got to shoot it because
It's like standard modified, right? You have like a semi-auto with a with
uh,
a with a
so
comp and a sight, right?
yeah, so the modified three gun, you put a dot on your pistol. You can have what an IPSC modified shotgun is, and then you can have a bipod on your rifle. And
Okay.
I I don't really like that division because it pulled so many people away from TAC Ops. So TAC
Mm.
Ops was iron sights on your pistol, no dot on your shotgun, just regular semi-auto shotgun, and then no bipod on your rifle. So it was a little bit harder in my opinion. And then but it was a cheaper alternative to open. So
Yeah.
now that's what modified is it's somewhat open, but it's not as expensive as running open gear is.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense.
To be actually in competition with other people, I have to start shooting modified because there's nobody shooting tack anymore.
Oh, okay. Uh, but you compete on your division only, right? There's not a competition in the overall, right? There's the overall in your division, right?
So the matches are scored with an overall, but your trophies and stuff and awards are throughout your division. Yeah, overall.
Okay.
So
That's interesting. For example, in here in Portugal, the National Cup, which is a 1 day only event. So for example, the winner of the National Cup, it's the overall winner. Doesn't matter what the division you are. Of course, there are prizes for not prizes, but there are medals and
yeah.
trophies for your division, and you win your division. You can be even the overall of your division, but then for the winner of the cup, you have to win everything. This doesn't matter if you're shooting open, you're shooting standard manual, whatever. And when you win, next year the match will be held in your shooting range or the shooting range of the club that you are a part of. If that shooting range can have a match, because some of them they can't. So that's a nice part. That's an interesting part. And some clubs, some shooting ranges, they even incentivize their shooters to win, so
Mm-hmm.
they even give some prizes so they can win the match, because that brings money to the club. When you organize a match, it's money to the shooting range, to the club. So that's an interesting part. You're not just shooting to win your division, but you can even shoot to win some prize, and that's nice. It's interesting. Okay, we ran a little bit off topic. Let's go back to the topic of shooting shotguns and techniques a little bit. Um, let me see. Wait, let me see here on the guidelines. Okay, so we talked about dry fire. You were saying that you try to adapt your training according to the match that you are going to compete, and I think that's what most shooters do, and that's what I do at least. But how was your start? You said that your father is your coach. How was your start? When you started training shotgun, did you focus on some specific points in the beginning, or did you start like now?
So I would say whenever I started shooting, a lot of whenever I started as young as I was when I started shooting, I actually ended up developing some bad habits because I wasn't
Okay.
strong enough to hold my gun, so I had to adapt. I had to adapt the way I shoot to the gun instead of adapting the gun to the way I shoot because I wasn't strong enough. So once I grew up and was able to actually hold the guns properly and be able to focus more training, then it was a focus on breaking those bad habits that I had to be able to actually start seeing improvement. And once I was able to get through those bad habits, really the training just it turned into what did I see from the last match that I did wrong that I need to work on for the next match. And basically it's went through that cycle until I've got to this point where you watch the videos and analyze what you've done, see what you
Exactly.
and then work off of basically where you left off.
So you do use a lot of videos to improve your shooting, right?
So my dad records every stage I shoot. A lot of the times whenever I'm out practicing, he's recording me shoot just to see. A lot of it now is the movement side of things. See, am I being explosive out of this position, and am I coming into this position properly with my feet in the right spot to be able to get all the targets to be ready to leave that position.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
a lot of it is video analyzing, and that's his department. He can see what I do wrong. He can know that I did something wrong. He'll tell me, watch this video. I can watch that video 20 times and I'll never see what I did wrong. And as soon as he tells me about it, it's like immediately like, yeah, why did I do that? But it's
Yeah, you
just
start focusing on that. Yeah,
having somebody else look at your videos can also help you improve a lot because they can see something that you're doing that you don't even realize that you're doing.
yeah. That's something that I like to do because now, of course, I have some friends in shooting that are better than me, and sometimes they give me some hints, they give me some tips. So look out for this movement, look out for this technique, whatever. But in the beginning, of course, I started all by myself, and then I started to teach other shooters, which I do now too. So what I like to use is, and since the beginning I have done that, is watch a lot of other shooters, better shooters than me, on YouTube or Instagram or whatever, and try to analyze what they do. Try to like put it side by side. Let me see what he does. Let me see what I do, and then can I do it the same way, or do I have to adapt something for my body type or whatever? But I try to analyze what they do, and then I'll try to implement, and I'll see what works for me and what doesn't. And this has been something that I've been doing since I started, and that's how I learned. And of course, putting into practice and seeing what works or not. And I don't do it only with shotgun. I do it also with I don't shoot pistol yet. Like I said, we have like a waiting period here. Of course, I've shot already just for fun, but I can't shoot it in competitions yet. But I like to also watch shooters that for pistol shooters, for example. And I believe there is also something, even the platform, if the platform is different, there is also something that you can take from their technique, especially on the movement,
Yep.
especially on the part of the feet. How do you move your feet? There's something that you can also always take,
Yep.
and I like to do that.
And another thing that's helped me a lot with improvement is at all the matches, I try to shoot with the best people that are at that match.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's a downfall shooting with the best people at that match, but sometimes you can always learn something from them. But sometimes it can get in your head that you're shooting with the best people and then you don't perform good that day and it gets in your head and it can be a downfall, but 95% of the time it's going to be better to shoot with those people that are better than you
yeah,
because a lot of times those people are going to help you with their stage plan, what
exactly.
their plan is, and they can educate you on how to make a better stage plan so that whenever you're off shooting with some other people that you can help those people make a better stage plan. So it's
I don't know if you're the same, but for example, you mentioned a good point. Um, Shooting with better shooters on stages on a match. I also believe in that. However, I feel that when I'm on a match, of course, I try to be with better shooters. However, I feel that I can't be entirely. It's not entirely focused, but I can't pay too much attention to what they are doing, because I'm really focused on what I have to do, especially on the stage plan part. Not it's like a fear of not memorizing the stage, which was something that I have worked on a lot to improve. Because in the beginning I used to forget the plan mid stage, and now I'm getting better. But of course, I try to watch them, but mostly I'll do it after, when I'm watching their videos or whatever.
So the way a lot of our matches work is a lot of the shooters will actually get to the match a day early, and everybody's there walking the stages a day early. So a lot of times that's when people's stage plans get made, and then
Mm-hmm.
whenever you hear the actual stage description, it might get altered a little bit, but you have a general idea of where the targets and stuff are going to be. So I have a pretty good group of friends that we walk stages together, and if we make a stage plan and we see something that is completely different and way more of an advantage the next day, we might change it. But a lot of times it's better to not change your stage plan from what
Yes.
you made, because then you get them mixed together and you're doing half of the one and half the other, and then nothing works out. But
Usually I don't change the my plans when I'm going right on the spot. For example, I might change if I go to see the pre-match, and if I go to see the stages before, and on the day, because on IPSC we cannot go inside the stage. However, if I see that on the match day that is something that's a little bit different, maybe this target I cannot see from this angle or something like that, then I might change, but I'll change it on the walkthrough. I
yeah,
usually don't change it because I saw some other shooter do a better plan.
yeah,
I've done that in the past and it did not work, unless it's something really, really easy to do and really something that stands out a lot and easy to memorize. Otherwise, I won't do it, because I've done that in the past and it was not okay. It was actually really bad. I forgot the stage plan, and I did it on a long stage,
yeah.
28 targets. I completely lost my plan, and a stage that was supposed to be like maybe 40 seconds, or like 35 to 40 seconds. I did it in more than 1 minute,
Yeah,
which is, of course, it's like almost a match killer. You see,
yeah.
so I don't do it that often. Okay. Do you have something that you like to talk about training or shooting shotguns? Something curious? I'll leave you to this part.
Uh, Now you put me on the spot. I don't know.
Something that you would like to ask me or whatever.
Well, with the pump side of shotgun, because I don't know much about that. Is that is that something that you train in dry fire pumping your shotgun, or
Okay,
that's
good question. That's a good question. And I'll say no. I don't train the pumping of the action on the dry fire, and I don't recommend doing that, because, like you said like you said before, you built some bad habits when you were younger, right? Due to the weight of the gun and all that. And I believe, because that happened to me in the beginning, I believe that training the pump on dry fire, it's building a bad habit.
don't have that?
And yeah, because you don't have the recoil, right? And the timing when you have the recoil, it's completely different from doing it without recoil. For example, a big part of shooting a pump shotgun is timing, perfect timing with the trigger, when you press the trigger and then when you start to pump, right? And that's something that I feel that I'm good, which is I can have very fast splits for a pump shotgun. Of course, my shotgun also helps, because my shotgun is probably, it's the best pump shotgun that is, and you can really shoot really fast. You can really make very fast splits. But I feel that my timing, I was able to train it on the range with the recoil. And when I started to understand that I was doing it wrong on the dry fire, I stopped, and then I started seeing improvement. In the beginning, I used to have a problem where I would make the pump before pressing the trigger, and then the trigger, it's like a trigger freeze, you see, and then I started to correct that, and now it's something that really rare to happen. It's really rare to happen, and I don't recommend training the pump on a dry fire.
Yep.
I recommend another thing, which is to have something that you can like, I don't know the word in English right now. It's something that can have the same meaning of a shot. For example, I don't press the trigger. I just like do like a little tap on the trigger, and I also do like a noise, like something. You see, I don't feel that you should transition from target to target without feeling that you made the shot.
Yep.
That's not realistic. And what I do is I'll just make like a little tap on the finger, and that also helps me with controlling the trigger finger. It's also very, very important. And then make a little noise, and I know when I make that, that's when I was ready to make the shot on like in live fire, and then I transition.
Yep.
That's something that I always say, and it has helped me to improve a lot. I don't know if you do the same.
Yeah, so I did the same with the trigger. I don't actually pull the trigger, but with the safety on, press the trigger a little bit, and then transition, just to have that where you're not just swinging the gun around. And thank you for shooting. You're actually doing some of the action that you do whenever you are shooting, so it helps with the target transitions and stuff.
Yeah, which is something that you can, like you said, it's something that you can train at home without spending any money, and you can see the difference when you go to the range. Then you can see the difference from week to week. If you train properly at home, you can see with target transitions, reloads, especially the reloads, and even option 3 starts. Do you have? It's called the same in 3-gun option 3? No.
Different starting positions.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about, for example, when you start with the gun loaded, unloaded, or I don't know the name. It's without a shell in the chamber.
Yeah.
So that's something that I always train also at home, which option 3 starts, which is the gun is unloaded, and if you train that, you can improve a lot when you go to the range. Yeah.
Which really, so in 3-gun, a lot of times you start with your shotgun loaded. So what I've been focusing on most in my dry fire has actually been the unloaded starts and from the different positions, because that's kind of a new thing in the IPSC, is starting with the shotgun empty. So
Yeah.
from that timer to loading the gun to shooting, that's something I like to practice as well.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Then you won't find a match where you will not have option 3 starts or unloaded starts.
Yep.
Every match has at least 1 or 2 unloaded starts. So that's something that you really need to train, especially on semi-autos. Pump shotguns, you can do a normal reload, and then just when you are climbing up and you put the gun on your shoulder, just wreck the action, and then it's ready. But on the semi-auto, you have to pull or push the bolt, I don't know the name, and it's different.
Yep.
So it's something to train. Yeah.
Whenever I went to the shotgun qualifier in Texas, the only stage I won was the unloaded start stage. So.
But the rest of the competition, they were not used to it, or what do you feel?
I'm not trying to brag, but I'm one of the better quad loaders in the U.S. So having that 2-second advantage at the beginning of a stage is a huge advantage on a 10-second stage or 14-second stage. It's whenever you're able to get those 12 shells in the gun,
yeah,
and 6 seconds instead of 8 seconds, then you have a huge advantage, and you can even make a little bit more of a mistake in your shooting and still get the stage win. So that's what at these matches, a lot of the ground I gain, I don't shoot super fast. So a lot of the ground that I'm gaining is in my loading and in my movement. That's why in the live fire I've been focusing a lot more on target transitions and shooting faster, because that's kind of, from the people that have been beating me, that's what they're doing differently than I am, is they're just able to shoot it faster. So that's what I've been practicing.
Yeah, that's a good analysis. Yeah, your loadings are really fast. especially because your gun is probably modified, right?
It's it's drilled out. I would say probably it's not a lot. I've seen people with way more drilled out ones, but mine's modified some. Yeah.
That's the best part of my gun. I don't need to open the loading port. It's already open from factory, and it's for me it's almost perfect. So it's nice. What other modifications have you done to your gun?
I have lighter recoil springs in it, and then
Okay.
I have a Benelli extractor in it because it's a Stoger M3K. So
Yeah.
they don't like to extract, and they don't like to feed very good. So by putting the low recoil springs and the extractor in there, it makes it run great. I mean, the last jam that I can remember I had was whenever I was shooting a shotgun match and my barrel lug broke where the locking lug locks
Yeah.
in. The the actual barrel cracked about an inch, and
Wow.
my gun jammed one time, and I shot two more stages with the barrel cracked like that. My gun ran, and then the way I realized it was my tube had turned a little bit, and the guy that dremelled out my gun had dremelled a little bit too far. So whenever the tube turned, it made it sharp, and it was cutting chunks out of my thumb. So
Wow.
I got to looking. We took the gun apart, and there's a crack in the barrel where the locking lug locks in, about that long. So it was. I switched to my backup gun, and it worked good. So
And so, but you had to change the barrel on your gun, right?
yep. So now I have a. That was a 24-inch barrel, I think, and now I have
Mm.
an 8-inch barrel, which I like the longer barrel. It definitely helped me with my slug shooting, and I think it also helped because now my chokes line up better. I get
Okay.
better chokes, so
What strokes? Of course, the stages in Trigun they're a lot different. But when you go to shoot qualifiers, what is your most common choke that you use?
So used to, I would run a mod all the time,
Hmm.
and then one of my buddies told me I needed to practice with the IC.
I
I
see. Yeah.
switched over to an IC, and I've been shooting that ever since then. It just
Yeah.
in a super tight no shoot or something, or a target that I notice is really hard to fall off. I'll put
Yeah.
a mod in or something a little tighter. But I
It's the same for me. I always shoot with IC, or here we call it. We have it like a different classification. It's like in stars. I don't know if you know that.
ours
Yeah, it's like the IC. It's a 4 star. I don't know why it's different, but whatever. So I usually shoot with the IC or the 4 star for general purpose. Then, if I have some really tight no shoots, I might go to the modified. I think which is modified, which is number 3 or 3 star. But that's how low I will go. I never go to number 2. At least I never had had to use it. And some stages, really, those really fast stages, I will use like it's a specific stroke from my gun, which is called the ampliator. I think it's called the ampliator. It's which is like a what's the name? It's like a 5 star. What is the equivalent in
a
what is
cylinder.
it? A cylinder, yeah, cylinder, exactly. It's like a cylinder. It's supposedly a little bit a bigger spread, something a little bit bigger.
So it would
That's
be
not good.
we have what's called a spreader choke. So it's
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this one is also rifled, so you can shoot slugs with really good precision, 50 meters, and I've shot 50 meters with that choke with my gun, like right on the middle. You don't even have to compensate anything. It just you shoot on the middle of the target. It's perfect.
our Urals, you shoot smooth barrel, uh,
Sorry?
shoot smooth barrel shotguns, right? Or your
Yeah, yeah. I only use smooth barrel. Yeah.
so
I don't feel it's good to use a rifle barrel on a shotgun because most of our shooting is not slugs, it's birdshot, and the rifling will be damaged over time.
yeah.
So I use that choke and that works really fine with slugs, and that's better.
So we have rifled slugs. Do you guys have those or?
I guess so. Yeah, I guess the ones I use they're rifled. Yeah,
So the slugs have the rifling on them instead of
yeah.
barrel.
But when you add that with the rifling
Yeah,
on the barrel or on the choke, of course that increases
yeah,
the precision. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Very well. Let me see what we have here. Okay, we talked about. I think that we talked about pretty much everything about tree gun and competition. So let me just ask you one another thing about competition. It's your goal to keep on tree gun, or do you want to maybe someday change to a more IPSC style competition, just shotgun, for example?
So I there's not enough of just shotgun over here.
But do you feel that that's something that it's now, or and it might get different in the future, or do you, how is it growing in your country?
The shotgun side of things definitely is growing, being that there's more of a want to go to the shotgun world shoot. There's a
Yeah.
lot interested in it, and the shotgun qualifier matches have actually been filling up pretty good. So there's people that are showing good interest in them.
How many shooters in a qualifier usually?
Uh, I think like 100 to 120, something like that.
Oh, that's a lot. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So pretty good. And then I hope that it continues to grow because I really do like shotgun matches. I mean, even before the IPSC was over here, our local range had shotgun match every year, and I've
Okay.
shot it. I think I've missed it twice that he's had it, and it's one of my favorite matches just because it's all shotgun, and
Yeah,
I love shooting shotgun. It's really fun, but the three gun the three gun is way more challenging in my opinion. The
yeah. It's three platform. It's a lot. Yeah,
Yeah, and it's way more heavy on the mental game because you have the jungle runs and stuff like that, and gun positions from dumping your one gun in a barrel to getting the other one out. You can save 2 seconds there from somebody that doesn't do it.
you have to drop the gun unloaded, right?
So yeah, we'll take in some stages. You'll start with your rifle slung on your back and your pistol
Um,
holster, and then your shotgun will be in your hand when you start. You'll shoot your shotgun, run up. When you get done with your shotgun, you dump it in a barrel, and then you switch to your pistol and shoot your pistol till you get to the next dump barrel. You dump.
but you dump it without rounds on the gun, or
You can still have rounds in the gun. It
oh,
just
okay,
be on safe. So you're dumping it into like a container, and it's pointing down. It's got to be on safe, and then or empty. So if it's empty and the bolt's locked back, the safety can be off. But I always put the safety on. I put the safety on whenever I move, especially in three gun. Whenever you're just shotgun,
that's automatic. It's in your subconscious maybe. So
so I mean, even whenever I pick a gun up and the first thing I'm doing is if somebody hands me a gun, the first thing I'm doing is figuring out where the safety is so I can make sure it's on after I've checked that it's empty. So it's just it's something that I've always been really focused on. There's been 2 3 gun matches that I've been disqualified from that yes, it wasn't necessarily the safest thing. Whenever I fell down, the gun did point the wrong direction, but it was safe as it could be because the safety was on. So it's things like that it just makes me feel good about myself whenever I'm moving. If there's a possibility that I could fall down, it's just another step so that nothing bad can happen.
yeah, you mentioned the safety angles. We here I think it's a big part of our stages. There are some shooting ranges they like to play with the angles, the safety angles. They will put like one or two targets right on the maximum angle you can have, like on the 90 degrees, and you have to be really careful. And some other shooting, for example, I organize matches here in my club, and I don't like to play that much with safety angles. Also, because the place where I shoot, we don't have shooting boxes. It's an open area, so I cannot play with that too much. Some parts I can, but I don't like to play a lot with the safety angles because it's something you're testing the shooter, of course, but It really slows down the
Yep.
pace, in my opinion, and it's not something that tests you a lot.
Yep.
Uh, you're there to test your technique in shooting, not in safety, I guess. Of course, safety is one of the most important aspects of this type of shooting. But I prefer when there's not targets with that
We
kind of targets. No.
Yeah, we call them over here a 180 trap, and nobody really likes them because it's something that forces you. It's almost forcing you to be more unsafe by doing that.
Yeah,
It,
yeah,
it's not testing any skills, but it's making it so that you have a possibility of doing something wrong. So
yeah,
I don't like them because of that reason. It's something that pushes you to the edge,
yeah,
and it also comes down to what is the RO going to determine, did you do it or not? Then it be
exactly,
then it be
exactly,
that if from his angle it looks like you did, but from your angle you know that you didn't. It goes down to what he says. It's not what you say. So
exactly, exactly.
it just adds another factor. It adds another uncertainty to the stages.
Maybe if you can put it on the stage plan, you can put it on the last target. Maybe on that situation, okay, you are doing all the other parts fast and with technique, with proper technique, and then you just have to okay be more careful on that last target. Then it's okay, maybe one or two targets, but on the last part, maybe that's okay. But when you start with targets like that, and then you have to move or transition from one side to the other on same targets, but like mirrored,
Yep.
I mean, sometimes it's nice, but most of the times I prefer not have those targets.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Very well. We are almost 1.5 hours in. Uh, I have a few more topics here. Um, so we talked about your intentions in shooting. So, what are your future projects, but not so into the future, more like the next year or 2 years projects that you are trying to achieve in shooting?
Uh, mostly focusing on just getting better with the farming. I can't see myself making a lot of a career out of it. I don't ever want to stop doing it,
Yeah,
but being a farmer, I a lot of the matches like Memorial Three Gun, I haven't shot that match in 3 years because it's in it's right in the middle of harvest. So whenever it's time to harvest that's top priority
of
because
course. Yeah.
to go have fun, you got to make money because you can't do it
Yeah.
with so.
But would you like to pursue a professional career in shooting? I mean, I don't know if that's a misconception, but we have the feeling that here in Europe we have the feeling that in the US it's easier to have a professional career in shooting. Is it really like that, or is it a misconception?
So there's very few people over here that can just shoot and have a profession of it.
Okay.
There's a few people that can do it, but it takes a lot of you're mostly getting money from training people. Like you basically have to have a good training foundation. So you have to be a good coach to be able to do that. There's people that do it, but for me, it's not. I don't think I'm gonna be able to do it because of what I already. I mean, my true passion is to farm. That's what
Okay.
I love. So it's farming and then shooting, and I like coaching people, but I can't take. There's certain parts of the year that I can't be busy. I have to farm. You know what I'm saying?
Of
So
course. Yeah. So
so
I actually thought it would be easier to have a professional career in the US.
and then there's if you want to actually go into the industry of firearms
Yeah.
making, that you can do that pretty easily, but to just be a face and and to just go shoot matches and make a living off of that, it's not as easy as you would think it is. It
Yeah.
it's something that I wish was easier, but especially now with after COVID, there was a lot of people that got out of the gun world because everything got so expensive. Ammo is still expensive,
Okay. Yeah.
and it just COVID kind of took a lot of that hope of being able to make a career out of it away, because whenever that happened, companies don't want to sponsor matches as much because there's not as many people shooting them, so they aren't getting the reach that they once were. So it's just,
Yeah,
I hope that it is able to come back, and if it does, I hope that that possibility of more people being able to make a living out of it happens. But it's such an expense for the company that you would be the face of, basically,
of
that
course.
it's hard to actually make that happen.
So the prices, especially the ammo, they increase a lot
Yeah.
after.
So through COVID, or before COVID, you could buy a box of 9mm primers to reload for like $35 to $45, and now they're $80. So when things go up that much, it makes it hard to it makes it
Yeah,
hard. Which luckily for us, we had stocked up quite a bit before it happened, so it wasn't the end of the world. I was able to keep on shooting through COVID, but there was a
yeah,
lot that they would buy their ammo right before they went to a match, and especially during COVID, ammo supply was way down. The manufacturers were shut down, so there wasn't much ammo even being made. So it made it harder for hard.
yeah. What is the price of factory ammo, especially shotgun rounds?
So the shotgun shells I'm shooting are like $80 a flat, so $80 for 250.
Okay, wow, that's not bad.
That's not bad. Used
No, I mean,
used to they would have been $50, $60, and now they're
yeah, I mean, the lowest price here right now it's 74 euros. They are not the best shotgun shells, but they are okay for what we do.
yep,
But before COVID, and actually, I think COVID was turning point. But then the war started in Ukraine, and now more wars. When those started, especially in the Ukraine war started, the prices went higher again.
yep,
And now they used to be like 42. I think the lowest was like 42 euros per 250 rounds. And now it's 74, and they are still increasing. I still have a belief that maybe in a few years we will be around close to 100 euro a box,
yep.
and that makes. I mean, because of the wars, I know that some of the companies they are putting more production lines into ammo for the war, and that of course increases the costs and increases the ammo prices. What about the US? I mean, you have your own production. Do you supply ammo what's the problem for the increase? Of course, in COVID, that was justified, but right now, why the price didn't go down?
I guess the way I see it anyway is the price hasn't gone down much because whenever the prices went up, people realized they realized that they could get paid that much for it. So what's
Yeah,
lowering the cost whenever they're still selling enough to justify the higher prices, that it it's still they're still making more profit. So
yeah,
that's what. And then also we import some of the things that, like, some of the things that we use to make the ammo. So
okay,
the importation cost is higher, and then the cost of the product is higher. So then the companies that are making it can't sell it for as cheap.
yeah. Do you reload?
Yes, we reload some. Yeah.
But only not shotgun shells. Or do you
No.
also reload shells? Yeah, shells usually don't are not worth to reload, I guess.
And even right now, 9mm ammo is not worth it for us to reload. We do have some of the older, cheaper supplies that it would be worth,
Yeah,
but right now, if you add your time into doing it,
yeah,
it's not worth doing. So that's what we have some stuff saved, but it for whenever it is worth doing. But
yeah.
it's just you can buy factory ammo and save hours of your life and be able to go train with that ammo instead of having to sit there and reload it. So
Yeah. I think that in the case of 9mm, I think for people that shoot a lot, it's still worth to reload here. but for shotgun shells, then it's not worth it. And we can't even use it reloaded shells on competitions. You can only use factory ammo. So it's mandatory. So there's no point in doing it.
Yeah, nobody over here really uses reloaded shotgun shells for the action side of things, except for like
For hunting, yeah, for hunting, people do it.
yeah, for hunting, and then for certain clay shooting, people reload their own
Yeah.
shotgun.
And you want to know something funny? Here you cannot have buckshot.
Really?
Yeah, it's illegal to have buckshot here.
Hmm.
It used to be legal. I don't know how many years ago, and then of course there are still some buckshot around the country. Some people still have it. But the first time I shot buckshot was on an outside match, outside of Portugal match, where it's legal and you have to shoot it. But it's not legal here. Buckshot, which is probably the most common loads for you, right?
So birdshot's our most common load. Really over here in three gun. So when I started into three gun, there was like no buckshot in it, and then whenever about halfway through three gun before COVID, there was more and more matches were starting to add buckshot into them, and then COVID hit and buckshot like nobody could find it, so then
Yeah.
got took back out of matches. So really, the only thing that you use buckshot in now is the IPSC or shotgun qualifier matches.
Yeah.
So
And also the prices. The prices, from what I've seen outside when I shot in Spain, it was in Spain. Um, the price of the buckshot was almost the same as the slugs,
yep,
which is the slug is usually €1 per round.
that's
So
about what
that's
it
a lot. Yeah, that's a lot. It's the same there.
pretty close. I don't know
Okay.
exactly what the euro to dollar conversion is, but I'd say it's pretty close. It might be a little bit less than a euro, probably.
That's when you said €80 for $80 for 250 rounds of birdshot. That's not bad because
I'm at
uh, I think the euro is a little bit higher than the dollar. I guess I'm not sure, but I would think that the prices, I mean, would be maybe a little bit higher. But that's basically the prices we have here.
did you hear 80 or 18?
80,
Oh yeah, okay, yeah,
80,
80.
yeah, 80, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. 18 would be a dream.
yeah, yeah. That's
I mean, if the rounds were $18 or €18, I would be shooting a lot more.
then you wouldn't have to worry about dry firing. You just go live fire all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Then only time would be a problem.
Yep, yep.
Do you have any sponsors that help you?
So CMMG is my rifle company that I shoot for in three gun, and then Athlon Optics is my optic sponsor.
Okay,
I don't have a shotgun sponsor, um, and then I use Tacom Gemini shell caddies for three gun.
okay.
But yeah,
And you don't have a shotgun shell sponsor or help? Yeah,
nope.
that's the most difficult part. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't have any ammo sponsor. So
yeah. Me neither. At least not yet, not yet. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Very well. I think we talked pretty much about everything that we had on our guidelines. I don't know if you have anything else to add, any curiosity, or maybe I'll leave the invitation for you to come to Portugal, or at least come to Europe, and not only on the World Shoot, but let's do better. When you come to the World Shoot, maybe you can come to Portugal after.
maybe.
Yeah.
Do you have any idea when the World Shoot is? Have you heard a date for it?
No, not yet. I don't know yet. Yeah, I don't even know if I will be able to go to this World Shoot yet. Let's see, but I don't know the dates.
Yep. It's probably
Okay. Yeah.
for us. It's probably going to be right in the middle of harvest, but I'm definitely going to make it to it. It's
Yeah. That's a different experience. Yeah,
yep,
yeah, yeah.
yep.
I think it will be worth it.
Yep.
Yeah. When is the farming period?
So a lot of times it's from planting season is from, we'll go with uh, May to, well, April to May, or April to June probably, and
Okay.
harvest season is from September to November.
Okay. Yeah. So that's usually right on the matches, the main matches time. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's the same thing over here. Is it's a lot of the matches are, if I get to go to them, I know a week before if I'm going or not. So
Yeah.
kind of sometimes it's even less time than that. It might be a 2 day before decision that I'm going to go shoot the match because it just depends on pretty much if it rains or not. If we can't get in the field, then might as well go shoot. But if we're going to be busy and have to work, then you kind of, you know,
Yeah. And you can make that decision like 2 days prior.
yeah.
Don't you need to make a subscription? Or, I don't know the name.
So
Uh, well, a week, like to a maximum of a week earlier. No.
so the a lot of the major matches, you try to sign up,
Yeah. Sign up. Yeah.
go, and then if you happen to not be able to go, then it kind of, it kind of sucks. But normally I am able to make it if I sign up for it. It
Okay.
it takes some working around, but normally I'm able to make it. But for like a monthly match, sometimes I won't know until the night before if I'm going to a monthly match the next day or not. But for those, it doesn't. We know the guys that put them on, and we'll just text the guy and be like, "Hey, we're going to be there tomorrow," because the monthly matches aren't full, so we don't have to
Okay.
work too much. They can work.
Yeah. Okay. So just to conclude, what's going to be your next big match?
The next Shotgun World Shoot qualifier is in Minnesota in August.
August. Okay. Okay. So it's close.
Yep, pretty close.
1 month to prepare. What do you feel? Do you need to prepare more to that match now?
Uh, right now, I'd say I'm just gonna keep trying to dry fire every night, keep quad loading and working a lot on those starts, the different starting positions, and then
Yeah.
when I'm out shooting, focusing mostly on the movement and target transition speed, just to try to get just a little bit faster shooting.
What is your? Of course, this is not always the same, but what's your time for the first shot usually?
Uh,
Your reaction time, let's say.
I'd say I think it's like, I'm not sure. I don't even remember right
Below
now.
a second, right? It's below a second.
Like 0.7 to 0.9.
0.7. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. That's something that I'm working on because in the beginning I was medium at it. I would have also sometimes some 0.7. Of course, it depends on the match on the stage.
Yep.
But let's say on a 7 meter target or a 10 meter target or a popper or something like that, something that's easy to shoot. I would do sometimes 0.7, zero 0.8, but then I started to focus more on other aspects, and then I started to increase those times to 0.9, 1 second, and that's something that, of course, I gain time on the splits, but at the same time, I'm losing on the beginning, and that's something that I've been trying to improve. Um, right now, I can sometimes reach again the 0.7, but it's been difficult. You see, because I'm so focused on the rest that it's difficult to achieve those times again.
So a lot of times what I like to do in my training is whatever I want to focus on the most, I'll save that for the end and work that last. That way, whenever I get
Okay.
training, that's the last thing I was thinking about. So it's more fresh in my brain just for my muscle memory and everything to take in. I don't necessarily know if it works the best, but I like to either one go out and focus on one thing the whole time you train, or
Okay.
or finish with the most important thing that you were training.
Interesting. So you deal with the rest first, and then you focus on
Yep.
that the technique or aspect that you want to
And then
focus more at the end.
and then as you're practicing, if you realize that you're doing something wrong, and that's going to be the next thing you want to improve on, go back and just work on that thing at the end of practice and see if you can improve just that one thing that you figured out was wrong. and then you'll be able to work on that specific thing more better.
Do you prefer to train stages or on live fire stages or some specifics?
So
Like you said?
a lot of times what we'll do is set up like 8 to 13 targets, and then have either a couple of walls or whatever, and then you'll take those 8 to 13 targets and break it up, run it forwards, run it backwards, start in the middle.
You leave the targets, but then you change the way you start.
Yeah, change the way you start, or run the 13 round stage in two shorter stages, or